Theft, murder, and crime in the West during the 1800s were commonplace, but before 1869, when the first transcontinental railroad was completed, the movement of people, mail, and freight across the West depended upon horses and mules, stagecoaches, and wagons. The joining of the Union Pacific and the Central Pacific Railroad lines changed how people traveled and caused crime to increase. Freight, mail, and people moved through the West at a much faster pace, and new towns sprang up along rail lines, like Hastings, Nebraska in 1872. The railroads brought all sorts of people to Hastings, and in some cases, crime had to be dealt with by vigilante groups. In March 1883, James Green and Fred Ingram arrive in Hastings, Nebraska on the Union Pacific Railroad. A number of days later, on March 26, 1883, the two men struck up a friendship with 18-year-old John Babcock, a Hastings local. In search for some extra money, the three men made the decision to rob the local grocer, Cassius Millet, as he walked home after work. The three men waited for Mr. Millet to leave the grocery store. Then, holding guns to his back, they told him to give them his money. That night, the men did not realize that they were walking Mr. Millet past his own house, or that he would flee. The next day, March 27, 1883, Cassius Millet died, beginning the hunt for his murderers. The three men, Green, Ingram, and Babcock, were soon apprehended, and their hearing was set for April 3, 1883. As the men are waiting for their trial, Charles H. Dietrich, a local Hastings lawyer, decides to interview the boy from Hastings, John Babcock. Dietrich cuts a deal with Babcock. If he tells him what happened, then he will have his life spared. Babcock takes the bargain and confesses to the murder. After the hearing on April 3rd, while being held in the courthouse awaiting their verdict, the Committee of 33, a lynch mob made up of Hastings citizens, fearing the release of the criminals, break into the courthouse. Carrying guns, the mob forces the courthouse guards to release the prisoners to the mob.
I think the committee probably reacted like just as they did. They reacted off their first impulse. They were mad, but also I think after people started thinking about it, maybe it was the wrong way to do things. Maybe they should have got a fair trial. But like I said, the committee probably thought that this wasn't going to happen, so they took it into their own hands.
The mob forces the courthouse guards, including Charles H. Dietrich, to lead the three men to a nearby railroad bridge. There, the three men were strung up and hung, except Dietrich grabbed hold of Babcock's rope and cut it, pulling him up to the railroad bridge where he was standing. The mob argued with Dietrich, but Dietrich said that he had promised the boy his life. Babcock was later turned over to the sheriff and sentenced to 10 years in prison, but was released in 7 and has never been heard from or seen again. It is hard to imagine a hanging like this take place today, but during the 1800s in the West, vigilantism was widely celebrated, encouraged, and supported. It was a way for the locals of western towns to take the law into their own hands. when they felt that justice could not or would not be served in a more traditional judicial form. It is clear that the people of Hastings felt that justice would not be served for the murder of their beloved grocer Cassius Millet by the outsiders James Green and Fred Ingram, and so they took the law into their own hands.